Hello, hello, I am back. I had a really long weekend. Hope you guys had a good weekend. But let's just immediately jump into Braxton Family Values Part 2. The Braxtons with Iyanla. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time going through the rundown of everything that happened on the show because I really want to get to the crux of my argument, which is Tamar and Evelyn Braxton. Just briefly, the show started off where it ended last week with Iyanla basically telling, Tamar that your delivery diminishes your message. And if there isn't anything that I have taken away from anything Iyanla Vanzant has said, it is 100% that if your delivery is whack and abusive and really ill-intended, that it doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what comes out of your mouth. If it comes out in a malicious rather, or ill-willed kind of way, you could be saying, I love you like Christ loves the church. But if you saying it in such a way that Satan himself would ordain, it doesn't matter. It totally throws it out. So, they went on to, they showed clips of the individual interviews that Iyanla did with the sisters and with their parents on day 2. Of course, they didn't have individual interviews with Tony and Tamar because they weren't there. Shocker. But you know what? What I do want to mention is that in the interview that Evelyn Braxton and Daddy Braxton said that they had one-on-one with Iyanla, I really realized, because in my last video I said that Evelyn Braxton was bitter. I realized that not only that she's just not bitter, but she still loves him. And Iyanla asked her, do you still love him? And she was like, no, I don't love him. But you know what? Right after she said that, she said, this man was my best friend. He was my first. She was 17 when they got together, and they had Tony shortly afterwards. That's a lot of time and a lot of years that she is still holding on to, and she has not been able to process and let go of, which is sad, because you can still see that there's almost 40 years of love in that marriage between the two of them, and how they can't get and he even admitted that he still loves her. She gave him 6 children. You can't have 35 years of marriage and 6 children and not feel nothing. And I think that she wasn't really accepting of that, which is what I'm really going to get into. Evelyn, you are the quintessential Bible Belt woman. And you know what's jacked up, and what I realized after I made the first video, because I recall in season 1, Evelyn, aren't you a life coach? Didn't she start like a life coaching company or something of that nature, where she wanted to help women, who were going through different difficult times in their lives and coach them through it? How hypocritical are you that you weren't even in the beginning willing to commit yourself to a process that would allow your family healing, and you call yourself being a healer? That didn't make sense. But you are the quintessential Bible Belt woman, and by that I mean you are the type of matriarchal woman in the black family where you can do no wrong. I feel like us as black people, we really need to get out of that mind frame that mama knows best, because sometimes you got to be able to call mama on her shit when need be. And I feel like in this family, nobody's willing to be that person to tell mama when she needs to be called on her stuff, when she needs to be told, like, no, you're wrong, you're bitter, you're this is not okay to do, to put your family and I feel like what she did in the divorce, because like I mentioned in the last video, she didn't get anything out of the divorce. But what she did do is she turned her family and her daughters against their father. And that's part of the reason why he kind of went away and stayed away. It's because she had turned them against him. And I've seen it. If I haven't seen it once, I've seen it twice. A bitter woman who's not only been, especially a cheated on woman, a woman who's been cheated on, being so angry and upset that she got cheated on, that she is willing to do any and everything and put the kids in the middle of the relationship and in the middle of the turmoil and the fuss and the fighting, that she's willing to do that at the detriment of everybody around her. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. And I just feel like I said, we got to get rid of that stigma that mama knows best, because sometimes you got to be able to tell your mama when she's wrong. And I feel like everybody in that room at some point acknowledged the fact that they feel like they aren't able to express their feelings to their parents out of fear of some sort of retaliation, whether the daddy leaves again and is never to be seen, or the mom feels some type of way and she retreats. And I feel like that has plagued and plagued and plagued Tamar. So let me just get into it, because I could really care less about what happened in the rest of the episode. I could honestly care less about, you know, Tracy leaving and still filming and blah blah blah. Tamar Braxton is the voice of Evelyn Braxton that she refuses to express because she's a lady. You know, I'm too grown, I'm too old. But Tamar Braxton is the complete manifestation of everything that Evelyn Braxton is, and everything that Evelyn Braxton feels. It manifests itself through Tamar. And I believe it was Trina who said in the episode that she said for years that Tamar is their mother, that she is the complete replica of their mother. And you could just see it. Okay, so after day 2, when Iyanla basically said, you know, I'm not coming, you know, I'm not filming, I'm not allowing myself to be a part of the mess. On day 3, Tamar came in full army fatigue. Not only one is that really passive aggressive sort of behavior, but it sets the tone for what's going to happen once everybody gets there and sits down. Army fatigue means you're ready for war. That means you're ready for battle. That means you have walked in the door prepared to have some sort of altercation with someone. That's so passive aggressive, and it spoke for her even if she never even said anything. You know, it was just so rude and disgusting. How childish is that? You are 41 years old and you come to a setting like that in full army fatigue. You look like you just rolled out of bed, and you know what I'm saying? It was just bad from the get-go. So then Iyanla sits down and she, you know, they go into this whole spiel, and she talks about behavior, how Tamar's behavior is abusive, how she cuts people off, and she doesn't give anybody the right to feel anything in her presence, because she automatically puts up, you know, she makes these faces, she does these neck rolls, and all this very disrespectful behavior. So Iyanla addresses it and said, she asked Evelyn and says, what happened to her that makes her, you know, that makes her think that this sort of behavior is okay? Well, you need to stop name calling, sis. Stay out of my comments, sis. Iyanla said, I got panties older than you. Girl, sit down. I'm not your sister. I am your elder. You will respect me and address me and such. And nobody has ever put her in a place where they deemed that the respect that she was giving wasn't the respect that they were receiving. That is not what I received. This is not how you're going to treat me. This is not how you're going to address me. So this is what we're going to do going forward. And when when that happened to her, you know what really stuck out to me? She said, who talks to me that way, is what Tamar said. It wasn't who talks to anybody, though. I believe she said that afterwards. But she said, who talks to me that way? That stuck out to me like a sore thumb. That she feels that she is so above and beyond the respect that people want for themselves, because that's not what she wants to give them, that when they address that with her, who talks to me that? How dare you speak to me in that way? How dare you talk to the Tamar Braxton that way? And you know what else? You know what else I've really realized about her? Because she's a very narcissistic person, Tamar Braxton is. You know, anybody who addresses themselves or refers to themselves in the third person is very narcissistic. Because that's not a self-reflective sort of thing to say she did that or she did that. That's not self-reflective behavior. That's self-absorbing behavior. That's self-absolving behavior. She absolves herself from responsibility of the things that comes out of her mouth when she speaks in third person. She absolves herself of the responsibility of the actions that she does and the things that she says when she speaks in the third person, because she didn't do that, or she wouldn't say that because she is this way, and she gives herself this third person persona so she can absolve herself for what she really feels about people. That's a very narcissistic thing. That is the true trait of a narcissist and a very self-serving person. And you know what? I feel that she didn't learn that necessarily from her mother, but I do feel that she learned that through what her mother has allowed, what her mother and father and her, even her sisters, have allowed her to get away with. She learned that she's above characterization flaws. She's above character flaws because she is perfect. She is everything. And you know what? Let's just get into what she said at the white table when everybody was confessing their truths or whatnot. Before I get to her, let me address what Tony said, because pretty much everybody else is pretty general. What Tony said was, if they weren't my family, I wouldn't like them. I believe it. I believe it. I believe it, because Tony has carried the name. We wouldn't know the name Braxton if it weren't for Tony. Let's just keep that 100. And I do feel like that if it weren't for Tony, or if not for the show, we still wouldn't really know them. We wouldn't. Having this show and this platform has allowed for other things in the sisters' lives to happen. We wouldn't care about Tracy's music if it weren't for this show. We wouldn't care about, Trina wouldn't be on Sister Circle now. Tamar wouldn't have been on The Real. Tawanda wouldn't have been, I believe she's in Plays or something or another now. None of that would be happening if it weren't for Tony. So I believe that she's been their crutch all of their lives. She has been the person who, and I believe she still pays for the mom's bills. So she's typically, she's practically everything for everybody. So yeah, after a certain while, you get sick of that. I don't get sick of that. Any person would. So I believe in when she says that I don't appreciate their behavior. Everybody is what she said. She looked around and said, "What everybody? Nobody's exempt," and I get it. We all know somebody in our family who if they weren't our blood, would be somebody we talk to. Everybody got one, at least one. I know I got a few I can name off the top of my head, but anyway. But let's just get to Tamar. Because I was looking online and I was seeing a lot of people saying that they thought that what she was doing was an act. And, you know, she was whining, but there weren't any tears falling or anything like that. And she's very good at that. She's very good at the play victim, throw stones and hide my hand. But I'm going to tell you why she wasn't acting. Because when she went around the table and was giving everybody their individual apologies or whatnot, what she was saying was 100% factual. She told Tracy that she was confessing that she wasn't supportive there for her because she knew she needed that. She told Trina that she was apologizing for. She told Tawanda that she was confessing that, you know, what everybody was saying about her, she thought came from her or something to that nature, or something like that. And that was all 100% factual, which is how I know that the character of Tamar is a lie. It's not how she acts it's not what she says that's the lie. It's her act. It's the character of her that's a lie. She is fully 100% aware that all of this and the quasi homosexual male that she plays, and me and my husband were talking about this too, because we were watching the episode together. Any woman that only has gay men as friends, you shouldn't trust. I cannot understand for the life of me why a heterosexual woman will only want to surround herself with homosexual men. And not saying that anything is wrong. I have gay friends. Don't come for me. I love the LGBT. I have a sister who's in the LGBT. Don't come for me. I love everybody. But my thing about that is that you're a heterosexual woman who only has homosexual male friends. There's something wrong with that. And another thing too, when they were sitting around in the room talking to Iyanla, you were the only one who had the reaction that you had. You were she addressed Tony first by saying that when you didn't show up on time, you failed to meet your commitment. Tony wasn't getting all rah-rah with her about how she was name calling her and how things, you know, how disrespectful she was to her. No, she said she slapped me on my hand and I took it. That's what an adult does. That's what a grown woman does. She accepts her faults and keeps it moving. But the character of Tamar couldn't accept that. The character that no, I am above this. I know it all. I have it all together. She could not accept her wrong in the situation, and that is what her family has been allowing her to get away with for so many years. They've been allowing her to get away with the character of Tamar, because the truth of her was what she said when she actually went around the room. That wasn't fake. It may have been, the acting of it may have been fake, but the words that she was saying and her expressions were 100% the true her. She fully is aware that she is a bitch to everybody. She fully is aware that she is the crux and the absolute core of everything that goes wrong in her life. That woman lost her man. Okay, she lost her job on the real. She has been dropped from like 6 record labels. She lost like I said, she lost her job on the real. She lost her house. Okay, like this woman has lost so much of her life, and she is the true reason for everything that has ever gone wrong in her life. Every single thing that has gone wrong in her life is because of her, and she knows it. But because of her, because of the character of her, because of the facade of her, she won't accept it. You feel what I'm saying? So I think what really aligned here is that the character Tamar was really what was shown. And my thing about it, because I went and looked, follow Tony on Instagram. I went and looked. Now, this was filmed on the actual sessions were filmed on September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And she went on Wendy Williams on September the 2nd, 12th, I mean. So after they did the filming in Atlanta, she flew to Jamaica with her boyfriend, went on vacation, then flew to New York to film Wendy Williams on September the 12th. When she did that whole performance on Wendy Williams about, oh, she was sex shamed and that's why I left, was that... That didn't make sense to me, especially now after seeing this episode. When were you sex shamed? Unless it was just completely edited out, which I do not put past, because don't forget, all of the sisters are executive producers on the show. They have the right over what gets put on the cutting room floor and what gets aired. So maybe, but my thing about it is, if that conversation really had about your molestation, and she really, and that was really what really happened, I don't see for ratings purposes, especially because you had already put that out there before it was even aired, that was even discussed. I don't see WeTV cutting that out. So that was a lie, sis. You lied. You straight up lied on this woman on national television, saying that she sex shamed you for being molested. That's a lie. That was such a lie. So my thing about this one is like I said, this character and this facade that Tamar puts on, it is disgusting. And I really hope, because she said at the end of the episode that she wants help and she needs help. I really hope she gets it, because if not, this woman is going to continue to self-destruct and destroy everything and everyone she touches. And I truly believe it. So, you know. Oh, and one more thing, because I wrote it down in my notes. Because they kept reiterating that the divorce of Michael Braxton and Evelyn Braxton was kind of the pit of why they can never why they can never agree on anything. I just want to give y'all some facts real quick. Evelyn and Michael Braxton divorced in the year 2000. By 2001, Tony was married. Tamar was married to her first husband, and I believe Trina was Tracy had already been married, and Trina, I believe, was married to her first husband. So that was 4 of the 6 children who had been married. And I'm not sure about Michael Jr., but Tawana was the only one who hadn't been married. These were grown women. Tony was 31 when her parents got divorced. Tamar, being the youngest, was 21 when they got divorced. These were grown women. Okay, now if grown women who are already married can grasp the fact of 2 people getting divorced, however long they've been married, however tumultuous their relationship was, if they can grasp the fact and take hold of the fact that these 2 people were getting married and be adults in the situation, I don't understand what that means. I really don't. Y'all were grown ass women when this happened. Shouldn't be no reason why this divorce still affects y'all 20 years later. It makes no sense. And I feel like y'all are using that as a storyline, and y'all are using that as a crutch, and that's disgusting. Y'all need to get over that. But that was pretty much all I had. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on your notification bell button, y'all. Let's talk about it in the comment section. Love you guys. Bye.